Hello, this is Mr. Henry. Welcome to lesson 1.4, Order of Operations. So our subject question for today is, how do I evaluate expressions involving two or more operations? If you remember, operations are things like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So, here we have our vocabulary. And you may have heard this expression before. Some people use the acronym or they use the expression, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." What it is, it's the order that you need to, well, do the operations. First thing we start out with is parentheses. You always do parentheses first. What's inside the parentheses? If there's any math to do, you do that first. Next, you will move on to exponents. Those are the powers, the exponents that we learned about in the past couple of lessons. Finally, or I should say not finally, next, if there's any multiplication and division to do, you work from left to right. That's like how you read on a piece of paper, from this side to that side. And then finally, addition and subtraction, again from left to right. Okay, so let's see a problem with more than one operation to do. So here we need to follow the order of operations for this problem. Well, the rule is not just work from left to right. No, no, no. As we learned before, there's an order. Parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide, finally add and subtract is last. So if we work down this list, there's no parentheses in our problem. There's no exponents. But there is a multiply. So we're going to do that before we add. Multiply, 10 times 5 is 50. And then when we finally add, because that's all that's left, 50 plus 50 is 100. And that is our answer. Okay, let's try a second example. 18 divided by 3 times 2. Now, it's still up there. There's no powers, there's no exponents, but there is multiply and there is divide. So we have to do them from left to right as you read a piece of paper, going this way across. So we're going to do this first. 18 divided by 3 is 6 times by 2. Now that's all that's left. 6 times 2 is 12. And we've got our answer. Okay. Now, I want you to try two problems. Letters C and letter D. Letter C is 6 minus 2 plus 7. Letter D is 5 plus 18 divided by 2. When you're ready to give them a shot, hit play again. Till then, hit pause and try these two problems. Okay, hopefully you had a chance to try these two out. First one, since we only have addition and subtraction, we work from left to right. So this is what we're going to do first. 6 minus 2 is 5 plus 7. Since this is the only thing left to do, 5 plus 7 is 12. And we're done. See, I made a mistake. 6 minus 2 is not 5, it is 4. 4 plus 7 is 11. Maybe you caught my mistake. If you did, good job. Letter D, 5 plus 18 divided by 2. Well, multiplication, division before addition or subtraction. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Bring everything else down. 5 plus 9 gives us 14, and we're done. Okay, now let's try with a variable expression. So now we have a mixture of order of operations and variables. So first step is always to plug in our variables, our numbers for our variables. So all the x's we see, we're going to plug in 25. So 25 goes there, minus 3, remember this is multiply, times, well, y is 2 to the third power. Wow, that looks complicated. Well, let's see. First we have to do parentheses. What's inside parentheses? Now I don't see any parentheses here, so we move to the next thing. Exponents. There's an exponent, so I'm going to do that first. 2 to the third power. So that's 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Everything else, just bring down. Now we have a subtract and a multiply. Well, the rule says we do multiply and divide before add and subtract. So we're going to multiply this before we do the subtraction. 3 times 8 gives us 24. Bring everything else down. And I'm going to have to move off to the side here. 25 minus 24, it's the only thing left. 25 minus 24 gives us 1. And we are done. So even though that looked complicated, it wasn't too bad once you get started. Letter B. Here's what I want you to try. So this expression is 2y to the third power plus x when x equals 12 and y equals 3. So go ahead and pause the tape till you're ready to continue. And once you're ready, hit play and we'll continue on with the problem. Alright, so hopefully you had a chance to try this problem on your own. So let's work through this. All the y's we see, we're going to plug in 3. So 2 times 3 to the third power plus x equals 12. Now we do exponents before a multiply and before addition. 3 to the third power, that's 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27 times 2 plus 12. Everything else just gets copied down. Next, multiply and divide before add and subtract. 2 times 27 gives us 54, plus 12 gets copied down. And the last step, it's only thing that you can do, 54 plus 12 gives you an answer of 66. And you're done. So that's not too bad. Now, let's have just a little bit of practice with our left to right rule, because a lot of people mess that up. So here we have a big list of addition and subtraction. So the left to right rule says if you have only addition and subtraction, you work strictly from left to right as you read a piece of paper. So you're going to do that first. Sorry, that's supposed to be subtraction. Then you do that. 20, oopsie, you get 9 for your answer, plus 5. And finally, 9 plus 5 gives us an answer of 14. So that's using that left to right rule. Since you only have addition and subtraction, you work from left to right. Finally, since we're running low on time, is our grouping symbols. Those are the parentheses. We haven't seen any of them yet. With these parentheses, you always do the math inside the parentheses first. For example, here we see 9 plus 2 inside the parentheses. 9 plus 2, we do that first, get 11. Then we can multiply times 3. That's what this means, 3 times this stuff. 3 times 11 gives us 33, and we're done. But sometimes grouping symbols are hidden. For example, in this problem, I don't see any parentheses, but it's sort of like they're there. With this division bar here, it tells me I have to do all the math that's on top first, then do the math that's on the bottom second, and then finally I can divide. So let's see, if I do the math on top first, 25 plus 5 gives me 30. The math on the bottom, 2 times 3 gives me 6. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Alright, I hope you had a good lesson today. This has been lesson 1.3, Order of Operations. I hope to see you again later on. Thank you. Bye-bye.